Are you like me, ready to maybe start investing in the stock market and you are scared to death? Hello? Honey, is that you? Come on. Okay, quit goofing around. Hello? Hi, Ridge here, and today I have a special guest, Travis Williams from the YouTube channel. Travis Williams.
Hey, I'm Travis Williams from the YouTube channel Travis Williams. I talk a little bit of stocks, investing, and real estate, and a lot of positivity, motivational stuff as well. And so Ridge Mallory, I really appreciate you having me on your channel for this collaboration. I'm really excited about it, man.
And he's gonna maybe answer some questions for me today. As a beginner, I have a few questions. He's gonna be able to maybe give me some insight. I do wanna put the warning that neither of us are financial advisors. Always speak to a financial advisor. These are just a couple of tips and pieces of advice before investing in this stock market. And if this is your first time here and you're interested in starting or continuing your journey to wealth, make sure you take that first step by hitting the subscribe button, the bell notification, so you don't miss any steps that we're taking on our journey to wealth. And if the rest of you find value in this, slap the like button. Oh, okay, so investing into stocks. It seems daunting, at least for me it does. Other people may look at it and be like, it's no big deal. But for me, it's a little frightening. You know, you hear the horror stories of people losing their money in the stock because there's just so many different types of strategies and methods. You know, they have the sit and hold strategy, which sounds like a night after some Taco Bell. There's the play in the market strategy, there's day trading, and I'm sure there's so much more. So Travis, is there any way you can just enlighten us and tell us the different types of strategy that there is?
Well, that's a great question, and I'm definitely no stock expert. I can just tell you what I do, of course. And what I like to look for in a company when I get ready to invest is cash flow. Are they a company that's not only making ends meet, making sure everybody gets paid, but is their business able to put a large amount of money back and reinvest it into the company and reinvest into future building and research and things like that? That says a lot to me when I see a company that's just being able to pile up massive amounts of money and reinvest it back into the company. That's always a good sign for me. I also like my own strategy is I like to diversify. Okay, so I don't like to be too much in one sector or another. You know, you don't want all, or at least I don't want all of my stocks in, say, consumer staples, or I don't want all my stocks in REITs like real estate and things like that. So I try to diversify a little bit and try to find solid companies in each one of those sectors to invest in. And basically what that does is it helps kind of reduce my risk. That way, if one of the sectors fail, or if one of the sectors is having a recession, then the amount of my investments, the total investments as a whole doesn't tank with that one investment. So I'll say all that to say I'm a buy and hold investor. I like to find quality companies, buy into them, and continue to buy into them consistently, unless I see some kind of major change that I don't like, or that maybe that company no longer fits into what I'm trying to accomplish with my investments. At that point, I would liquidate the stock and get out of it. But for the most part, I'm thinking long term with this. I try to buy companies that I see are going to be around in 20 years, still successful. I'm not a day trader or things like that. There's definitely people that are extremely successful. That's not me. I'm in it for the long haul.
Thank you so much for defining that. So for me, I'm like a grinder. No, Ryan. I'm like a grinder in poker. I'm not going for the big tournaments. I don't want to play the market. I don't want to look at the stocks. I don't want to look at meetings and look at small businesses, upcoming businesses. I don't want to try to play the market, time the market. I don't want to day trade. I want to just be a grinder, always investing into something that you know works. Just like in poker, people play cards. Once they get just a little bit above what they won, they stop and they move on to the next casino. That's called a grinder, and that's kind of what I want to do. No, that's not a good analogy. The point being, I don't want anything complicated. I want to invest into just, I think they call them like mutual or index funds, that is just simple. It's like you're just throwing money in it and it's gonna give you a general average. Now, obviously I'm an idiot, so Travis, can you please enlighten me or any other beginner that would like to know information on this, on what exists that could be like that?
Well, that's a great question, and I think we share a lot of the same mentality there, where you're not constantly having to research different companies, because a lot of that takes a lot of work, and so many people, this isn't their passion. They don't want to look at stock charts every single day. They want to invest, they want to grow their money, but it's not their passion, And for people like that, I think index funds are basically the perfect scenario, or at least for me, whenever I'm trying to put in money where I don't really want to think about it. I buy into funds such as the total stock market. And what that fund is, it basically tracks the total stock market, okay? So you can also buy into S&P 500 funds, which track the S&P 500 companies. And so as a whole, if those companies are going up, your investments are going to do just fine. It's not tracking one particular company or two particular companies. It's tracking the S&P 500, so you have a lot of exposure in there. You have smaller amounts of risk just because it's spread out over such a large amount of companies. So for somebody who's just wanting to put money in something, you can definitely do individual stocks, but index funds are going to get you that exposure to a broad market. As I mentioned, you can go several different routes. You can buy healthcare ETFs, you can buy S&P 500 ETFs, total stock market ETFs, all kinds of ETFs without really having to do much research. It kind of takes a lot of the work out of it, and it's just something that you can consistently buy into for a small amount of money.
That answers a lot. Thank you so much. My last question to you, Travis, would just simply be, how do we invest into it? Is it like you write a letter? Do you use apps? Do you go to the internet? Why don't you just explain the different ways that it can be done?
Sure, no problem, man. And I'll tell you exactly what I did. So when I first started off, investing apps wasn't really that popular or that big of a thing. So the first app I got to start investing was actually the Vanguard app. And back then you had to actually pay to buy stocks and funds and things like that. But now most investing apps such as Robinhood, Webull, M1 Finance, you can buy and sell stocks for completely free. And I think that's completely awesome, because you can download the app, you can link your bank account to that app, transfer money into the app, and then you get to pick what company, what fund. You can even purchase cryptocurrency through that app, and it makes it extremely user-friendly, very simple to use, even more simple to use than when I first started. So the apps have definitely come a long way. That's what I always that's what I kind of recommend. If somebody's wanting to kind of get their feet wet, it's so simple to download the app, put some money in, and just see if you like it. You don't have to even leave the comfort of your house. You can do everything right there from your smartphone. It takes a few minutes and boom, you're investing. So that's what I do. That's what I like to do. And you don't have to set up an appointment in an office and talk to somebody. You can do your own research and find out kind of what fits you.
So Travis, thank you again so much for being on the channel and answering some of my questions. Again, guys, his channel is the first link in the reference notes below. Make sure you check out his channel and absolutely subscribe, especially if you're interested in investing in stocks. So the last thing that I would like to say is time in the market is better than timing the market. So whatever you can invest right now, just start doing it. Now you should have been doing it 5 years ago. Because you know, like they say, the best time to plant a tree was 5 years ago. The next best time is today.